This is a florid and luxurious display. Fashion and tradition meet here. The 2003 Chinese Silk Festival has attracted the attention of the whole world. People want to visit Hangzhou not only because of the beautiful West Lake, but also because of the colorful and splendid silk products there. By the 6th century BC, the world-famous Silk Road was built up and passed Chinese silk to Central Asia and Europe. The Silk Road prompted the trade of silk between China and the West and also contributed to the rich cultural and economical exchanges. Chinese silk was then passed to the whole world. By the 10th century, in addition to the Silk Road in the north, another 2 Silk Roads were built in southwest and on the sea. The roads opened China to the outside world and facilitated the exchange of Chinese and Western civilizations. The Silk Roads have left us with many memories and reflections. The cultivation of silkworm and production of silk in China can be traced back to at least 5,000 years ago. However, at the beginning, silk was not used in ordinary people's daily life because silkworm was regarded as a divine insect. People only used silk to worship the heaven and to wrap the dead. A silkworm spins a cocoon and then becomes a moth and breaks the cocoon to fly away. This was regarded as a perfect and admirable circle of life. People believed it was divine and full of philosophy. People at that time thought that they had to be wrapped in a cocoon after they died so that they could live in heaven after death.
到了战国、春秋战国时候呢，慢慢的这种情况就开始放开了，就大家的观念在转变。因为春秋战国是一个思想大解放的时候，也是中国这个儒教开始确立，其他的那种原始宗教慢慢退位的这么一个时候。这个时候丝绸是一种贵重跟或者一种等级的一种表现，就是你一般人可能不能穿很高档的丝绸。
Silk is soft in quality, bright in color, and rich in patterns. It was a luxury for upper classes during the spring and autumn period and the war state period. The patterns were no longer symbols of totem and wizardry. Vivid pictures of animals and plants prevailed. Different patterns and colors were used at the same time to make it more lively and beautiful. In the 2nd century, 206 BC, China's Han Dynasty already paid great attention to the silk industry. Some officers were appointed to manage silkworm farms and provided support to them. The officials were given houses by the royal court. Tang Dynasty was the turning point in the history of Chinese silk. The Silk Road prompted the cultural exchanges between China and Central and Western Asia. Chinese craftsmen improved techniques and enriched patterns by learning from the West. Thereby, a technical system was established, and it didn't change much until the end of the Qing dynasty.
"在中国历史上呢，唐代呢是一个非常辉煌的时期。在中国的丝绸史上呢，唐代也是一个高峰的时期。这个高峰呢，我们可以从它的产量上面看出。我们曾经计算过，在唐代整个社会的生产当中，丝绸呢大概是占所有纺织品的1/3的这样的一个产量跟消费量。当时的是人口很多，每户人家里面呢，它有规定做丝绸。一般来说呢，一户人家它大概有10亩桑地，可以生产出10匹绸这样的一个概念出来。在当时的这个丝绸产量呢，一直是在古代社会当中最高的一个时期。
Silk products in the Tang Dynasty didn't contain any mysterious facts and were no longer simple. The colors were bright and splendid, and the patterns were mainly flowers and birds. The lively patterns portrayed the prosperous and stable Tang society and its ambition of expanding the territory. It was a golden age for Chinese silk.
在当时，丝绸有一个货币作用，所以老百姓做了丝绸过之后，他就好像，这就是钱，我可以拿这个去换别的东西，去买别的东西。所以有些人可能不一定舍得穿，他一方面用它来交税，另外一方面拿它来买东西，他自己情愿穿的穷一点。所以当时有这种养蚕妇啊，他说变身罗绮者不是养蚕人。就是那些穿着丝绸的衣服的人不是养蚕人，而真正养蚕的人他穿不起丝绸衣服。
The styles of silk patterns can mirror the tastes of different times. For example, in the 10th century, the weakened Song dynasty was facing invasions from the northern nomadic tribes. The whole nation was sad and depressed. People wished to escape from the tough reality. As a result, most of the silk patterns were about beautiful natural scenes and life in remote and quiet places. Different from the bright and splendid patterns in Tang dynasty, those in Song dynasty were simple and natural. Bright colors like deep red, blue and orange were out of use, while brown and grey were the predominant colors. Natural and lively flowers and even birds were the most frequently used.
是南宋迁都迁到杭州过之后，杭州成为整个中国的当时这个宋朝的那个政治、经济、文化的中心，所以所有的丝绸生产在这里也非常发达，丝绸贸易、商业也非常繁荣，还有各地的丝绸都要运到这里来，来进行一些，比如说交纳税赋啊等等一些，所以呢，这个时候丝绸呢，在杭州呢，确实是可以成为一个丝绸之父。
By the 11th century, a new weaving technique appeared. Weavers placed some colored threads into the silk fabric to make some special patterns. This technique was the most advanced weaving technique in ancient China and was only used to make the most expensive clothes. It was most popular in the 12th century. The technique was used to weave the patterns of red crane on this piece of silk. Produced 500 years ago, the 19-meter-long silk fabric was designed to make a gown for the emperor. Such fabrics were called patterned gown material. In the 13th century, the Song dynasty was overthrown by the Mongolians, who were dubbed as a people on horseback. They had special interest in and demand of silk. This greatly boosted silk production. There were also more and more varieties. It was a popular practice to add some gold threads to make the silk more splendid.
那个时候的一些西方传教士来到蒙古草原，他们写的那个游记像《出使蒙古记》里边记到，当时看到了蒙古大汉以及蒙古贵族穿的衣服是金光闪闪的，金光闪。他们所说的金光闪闪的，实际上就用纳什石这种原料制成的衣服。
In the cold and dry north, everything seems to be grey. The nomadic people think only the golden colour, like the sunlight, could bring life and brightness to the world. That's why people, particularly the wealthy and noble, would wear golden clothes to show their wealth and dignity.
蒙元时代来说起，那个时候呢，蒙古服饰呢，无论是在服装的面料上，还是服装的种类上，以及服装的装饰上，都达到了空前的水平。水平。随着成吉思汗那个蒙古大帝国的建立，以及向欧亚的那个扩张， 那个时候呢，大量的西域的丝绸啊，源源不断的用到了蒙古地区。这样的话，就给蒙古族的那个肤饰呢，提供了非常非常那个多的那个原料。
Many of the war prisoners from the West were good at weaving golden silk. They worked together and exchanged their techniques. Generally, the silk fabric in that period contained obvious indication of foreign cultures. Dynasties changed, but silk as a symbol of wealth and nobleness remained unchanged. Instead, its position was further strengthened in Ming and Qing dynasties. Rulers of the Ming dynasty in the 13th century issued a policy on management of weavers. Civil looms were often used to weave silk for the government. People also invented more types of looms. Different looms and weavers enjoyed different social status. The government issued official licenses to government-owned looms. The licenses contained detailed information of the weavers, including their name, age, and birthplace. Licensed weavers could get some grain from the government. By the 16th century, dyeing techniques were abandoned in silk crafts. Embroidery techniques prevailed. People invented the technique in the 16th century BC and was an important decoration of the royal costume in the Qing dynasty. From the 4th to the 2nd centuries BC, weavers used iron needles to make the embroideries. By the 6th century, a new technique called flat embroidering appeared. The arts of embroidery and calligraphy began to meet each other. By the 16th century, people in local areas had created their own styles of embroideries. The most famous were in Suzhou, Zhejiang, Hunan, and Sichuan.
们曾经在内蒙古那边发现有一件衣服，一共绣了99个图案在一件衣服上面。这个图案里面各种各样的东西都有，比如说是有人坐着小船在钓鱼啊，或者是在山间骑着毛驴在走啊，或者有的就是牡丹花，有的就是比如说大雁等等，是各种各样的，非常非常的漂亮。
It has been a long tradition to embroider pictures on silk that means good fortune. At the beginning of the 16th century, nearly all the pictures should have the following connotations: wealth, dignity, longevity, and happiness. In the Ming and Qing dynasties, the patterns included virtually everything from nature. In 5,000 years of development, silk weaving and dyeing techniques have made continuing improvement. Now, there are a wide variety of Chinese silk.
这个丝绸来说，世界各地的人都挺喜欢，因为它是纯天然的。
上船丝呢，因为比较透气，而且呢夏天穿的特凉。
泰勒丝呢，它是有紫外保型的，它是身穿上去呢透气性没污脱，对身体健康有好处。
Silk is a kind of animal protein fiber. It is fine, smooth, and soft. So silk garments and bedding materials are not only beautiful, but also good for your health. There are many varieties of silk products. People usually put them in 4 categories: Ling, Luo, Chao, Duan. Ling features diagonal weaving. It was the most popular in Tang Dynasty over 1,000 years ago. Luo features twisted warp thread. It was also very popular in the Tang Dynasty, particularly in Zhejiang. Description of it can be found in some poems at that time. We can view this from silk rags unearthed in the site of Leifang Tower. Chao refers to tabby silk that is dense and light. It has existed since it first appeared in the Neolithic age. Duan is a kind of bright and smooth silk. It first appeared in Yuan Dynasty 700 years ago and became the mainstream silk product by the 14th century. Because of its bright color, nowadays people often use it to make wedding bed cover. Silk is the pride of Chinese people. It has witnessed China's 5,000-year-old civilization. Silk has escaped the monopoly of the royal court and noble families and is part of ordinary people's daily life. Silk can bring coolness in the hot summer, thanks to its softness, smoothness, and elegance. Silk was, is, and will always be a fashion.